So you've designed something in Illustrator and now you're looking to send it to the printer to get it printed. But you may be wondering, is it ready for print? Is it set up properly? Will it look right? Well, I'm here to help you out and solve some of those problems. Now I'm going to walk you through just like a simple CMYK PDF. We'll go step by step to make sure that it's set up for print. Now the first thing will be document setup. So that includes bleed, your color spaces, CMYK. Then we'll go into the swatches and layers, just cleaning that up, titling it all properly. Then it'll be the fonts, typography, fonts, that good stuff, as well as images. So converting them from RGB, and I'll show you a few things to keep your file size down, and then we'll export the whole thing. Okay, let me show you how it's done. So here we are in Illustrator, and we are starting with document setup. It's the only place to start because you have to create a new file anyway, but it's also a really important step. And it's crucial to have your documents set up properly from the beginning to help that print process be a lot smoother. Especially in Illustrator, if you're not clicking this print tab here, you have a chance of getting sort of a fake CMYK. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a little bit. But again, this is really important. Print tab, and we're gonna go ahead and choose our file size here. So 8.5 by 5.5 inches is this postcard size that I am gonna be working with, and I'll show you, we're gonna be getting that print ready. Please bear with me, my text boxes are a little hiding my numbers because I scaled everything up so you could see it in the screen recording, but for whatever reason it's doing this. So we talked about CMYK. So CMYK, when you're clicking that print mode up here, you are getting a true CMYK color. You see the options here, CMYK, and 300 DPI is already selected. 300 PPI, which is pixels per inch when you're in the screen mode, but when you're talking DPI, dots per inch, it's sort of the same, but 300 pixels per inch. In an inch on print, it's laying down 300 dots, really nice close dots in that inch. When you're on screen, it's only 72. So if you're taking the square and you have something that is 72 resolution and you're trying to size it to 300, you're expanding it a little past what it's made to do, and that's why a lot of times you'll get fuzzy images if you're trying to print a 72 DPI to 300. So that's why it's really important to do 300 because that is what printers output. So that's CMYK, that's the DPI, and then bleed. So bleed is it's an 1/8 of an inch or 0.125 inches all the way around your design. It's an extra outside of your finished size so that when you have full bleed, background colors or imagery or something like that, anything that's going to go and be closing touch or past that cut size that you want it to be, that's what bleed is for. When you're printing something, print is a manufacturing process, so it's naturally going to have these micro shifts when it's hitting the feed and it's doing the things. And when you go to trim that in a bulk stack, if you're trimming it and you don't have bleed, you could potentially get these tiny light slivers, these white slivers of the paper, because your ink didn't go past, right? And it shifted. So bleed is crucial. And that is 0.125 inches all the way around. So we are good to go here, and I'm gonna hit create. So this is what our file would look like. And it's got the bleed there. You can see the red line. So all of my artwork needs to extend up to that red line. And here we go. So I don't really need this anymore. I'll get rid of that. And this is our file we're going to be working with. So the first thing, like I mentioned, was that bleed. We're talking about bleed. Already, my file here is not sized properly. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. So I want all of these things to go to the very edge, up to my bleed here. Oops. There we go. Bleed, bleed, bleed. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And then I want my image here as well. So I'm going to grab this clipping mask. I'm going to expand it. We're extending it up here as well. Oopie. Heck. There we go. Okay, same again. This needs to go past. Oh. Come on, work with me. I feel like because I scaled the whole thing up, it's just, my cursors are being really, really bizarre right now. Hey, we did it. Okay. And I can see here that this image isn't actually to the edge. So let's see if I center it. Does it center? I mean, I can even scale it up just a tiny bit. Yeah. Okay. Everything is to the bleed line, so we are on the right track to print ready. Now, the next thing that you want to take a look at is your swatches and your layers. So we are ready to print. Design is good. We want to look at our swatches because this is where you're going to be able to see if you have the correct colors and nothing weird is out of place. Illustrator loves to just give you this crazy palette of all these colors that you probably aren't using in your design. No one needs pompadour pattern. I don't know why we have it there. We don't need it. So the first thing you're going to do is go ahead and hit the hamburger menu, select all unused, and delete them. Get rid of it. It's junk. Don't need it. A clean space is just a clean design. If any printer has to go into your file, they're going to know what you're trying to do, how many inks and colors and all that stuff. So that step I actually do at the very beginning. Like when I've done my file, when I've created my file, I like to just clean all my swatches right away. And then once you're designed and all that, you can go ahead and now add all your used colors. So I'm actually only using this purple, and then the rest is just images in that white type. So the purple is now added in, and the other thing is going to the black swatch. I like to click global, just in case there's any changes or something, it's going to change it globally. But you can see here that this is a proper black. 000, and then that 100% black, the K, is how it's supposed to be. This is because we clicked that print tab. Now, if you didn't click the print tab and you had sort of a weird version where it maybe said CMYK, because it's very possible that when you've converted this file or opened up something that said CMYK down there, this black also has the little CMYK icon, but when I click it, look at this. This is 88. This is all these crazy amounts of ink coverage that is not needed. When you want black, you need 100% black. This is actually too much ink, and it's going to overcrowd or oversaturate your paper. And your printer, in the pre-press department, they're naturally going to go and try and change this. So why not help them out and just make it clean? And they may miss it, and then you don't want that stuff either. So we are going to, again, if you are already through the process and you kind of go through and spot this, you're just going to go 000, 100. I like to hit global, and then we hit OK. So now that is a true 100% black. So always check your black. It's very easy to miss. That's the most common thing that we see. And I guess I changed that too there. Yes. So swatches, done, clean, easy peasy. Next thing is layers. Now layers at this level, it's a really basic, it's a simple PDF. I don't have much. I like to always have a background layer for just my images and then the text on top. But if you were doing specialty finishing or anything like that, or you had a dye line, which we're not going to go into here, but you would then have those on separate layers, actually as well in your swatches. The swatches are probably the most important. But again, we won't go in there. There's some videos kicking around that have that on our YouTube. Go find them. But swatches and layers, this is just going to keep it really tidy for you when you work it, and also when the printer opens up your files and sees what they're looking at. So that's that. Now the next step is going to be images. Now our images, when I go to my little links panel, I can kind of see what's kicking around here. Does it say panel options? Can I get the, no, it's not on there. And InDesign it does it, but it isn't here. So the sheep is 365 ppi, which actually is good. So 300 dpi is print, yes. Now, I still need to convert this image from RGB to CMYK. Anytime you're taking a photo, you're using a digital camera. Digital is RGB, it's a screen. Screens are RGB. So you need to convert all of your images to CMYK. While we're in there, we're going to resize this image as well as the next one into its actual size that it's showing up in this document. The reason we do that is it'll get an exact 300 ppi. Over is okay, but a part of it, if you have something that's too big, you're going to be adding unnecessary file size to something that could be smaller. This is a simple PDF, but imagine you had a lot of artboards and all this stuff, and all of your images were way larger than they needed to be. You'd be sending like 5 GB files when you didn't have to. So we're gonna do this in Photoshop. So I'm clicking in, I'm getting, not in the clipping mask, or sorry, not the clipping mask, but the actual image. You see how I have that? I'm gonna grab the width of it, just any of the sizes, and we're gonna resize it actual size to this. So by opening that up in Photoshop, do I have it? No, I have it here. Okay, sheep and sheep. There we go. Oh, my bad. I gotta drag that into Photoshop. Photoshop. There we go. Our sheep. So, image mode RGB. You can see here that it says RGB. Oh, yep, image mode RGB. I need to change it to CMYK. Yeah, I need this to be okay. And if you were editing a file and you had all those like adjustment layers and all that stuff, compress and flatten your image before you convert to CMYK. A lot of those little like levels or whatever those adjustment layers are, they are designed for RGB editing, and you'll likely lose a lot of their function when you convert to CMYK without compressing first. So do that. So now we're in CMYK. You can see up here it says CMYK. We're gonna go to image size. Image size is where we can see the resolution. Whoa, there we go. So the resolution, the size right now is 50 by 60 inches, huge. My postcard is only 8.5 by 5.5. So I don't need this additional file size bogging down, my PDF. And I need to make sure it's 300. It's just a cleaner way of doing that. I'm gonna pop out of this zoom here. So we're gonna use that width that I copied earlier, and now it's gonna be 40 megabytes instead of 60. And my resolution is 300. I choose automatic because it's gonna do what it needs to do when it's sharpening or smoothing based on sizing up or smaller. So that is that. Now I'm gonna save it as CMYK because I like to have a new version, keeping the RGB version just in case you need it. And this CMYK version is going to be saved to a different file size. So that's that one there. Now I have this black and white image, a little different, but the same also. So image mode, instead of CMYK, because it's a black and white image, the safest way that you can print black and white imagery is black, right? So black ink on white paper, black and white. If you choose CMYK, you run the risk of the levels being kind of unpredictable, because you're introducing cyan, magenta, yellow into a black and white image. So you might end up with your images looking a little cooler. They might accidentally become a little cyan because through the natural printing process, those things can shift. So the best way, again, grayscale. You're going to remove all the color information. Yes, please discard it. And then we're still gonna go through that same image size. We're gonna go grab what the final size of this image is, which is in my little clipping mask. So I'm gonna grab my width here. Thank you very much. And see how this is 17 megabytes? Now with it being the proper size and 300 DPI, it's only 4 megabytes. And it's going to just be a smaller file. CMY, I mean, it's really black and white, I guess, grayscale, if we will. So save as black and white. Now we're back into our Illustrator. So I'm going to relink this. I'm gonna relink it. I'm going to get my CMYK. I'm not actually going to link it. I'm gonna keep it embedded. If you want when it's something small like this, if your printer has to open up the file and kind of, they probably won't have to, but if it's not embedded, it would be a missing link to them. And then you'd have to supply the image and they'd be wondering where it's at. The same for fonts, which we'll go into in a little bit here. So by not having it linked, it will, I do want to convert it because yes, Grackle is the best color profile. I'll kind of show you that in a little bit, but you would go file, edit, colors, settings. Yeah. These, screenshot, this is what you need. RGB, always Adobe RGB, CMYK, coded Grackle. This is what the printers use. Like this is literally the program that the printers use. So change that. Okay, we're back in here. We're gonna relink this black and white image. Relink the black and white, yes. Okay, we have a black and white image. It is 300 ppi. We love to see it. So that is imagery. And now we're gonna move on to type. So again, if for whatever reason, your printer needs to open up the file, take a look inside, see what's happening under the hood, you don't want these live type meaning that I can type in it, because if your printer doesn't have this font, they can't work on your file without you sending it to them, and it's just a little bit complicated. And again, if you aren't converting your images from your end, you're leaving it up to the printer to do that, and you are not in control of it. If you're leaving your font live type like this, and it goes to the printer, and they try and convert it or create outlines for you, you're not in control of your final file. It's gonna maybe be slightly different, and you at least can see the final product in front of your eyes kind of here. I mean, other than going to press checks and proof actual print product, but this version. Okay, back to type. So type, really simply, I'm going to select all my type. An easy way in Illustrator is select object, all text objects. So that'll get everything in here if it's unlocked, obviously. And I'm gonna go type, create outlines. Bam. So now it's these shapes. It's these actual vector shapes, and that means that the printer can work in your file and not have to go search for fonts or ask you or email you or whatever. So that is that. We went over document setup, the bleed, the color, the CMYK, the swatches, the layers, the images, and now finally the type. So let's export it. We're gonna go File and Save As. And we want a PDF. We love a good PDF. Sheep are cool. Yes, they are. Yeah. So high quality print is the best general PDF option. It doesn't color correct or color convert. It keeps it with no conversion. So it leaves more room for your printer to set it up how they like. If your printer specifically asks for a different PDF preset, use that. But this is a really good general rule of thumb. Keep Illustrator capabilities on, because again, if they want to get in there, they can. We've outlined everything. They can get in there without any issues. Marks and bleeds, trim marks. You don't need registration marks. The printer will do that on their own. Each print shop has their own version of a registration mark. So just trim marks, which is the other name for crop marks. And your document bleed setting, which you can see 0.125 inches. And that's that. We hit Save PDF. Okay, so now let's go take a look at it. So I'm going to open it up, and it is existing somewhere in this file. Here we go. There we go. So this is our 2-page PDF with the crop marks, or trim marks as Illustrator likes to call it. Yeah. Oh, wow, that's zoomy. Okay, whatever, you saw it. Anyway, and you see our bleed, right? Like our bleed is that little overhang. So we're not gonna get any white edges when it trims. And that's that. You have a print ready file in Illustrator. So that was Illustrator print ready PDFs. I hope you had fun. So maybe you're wondering how to do it all in InDesign. Well, we have a video for you here. Go ahead and check that out. Learn it all in InDesign. Or maybe you want to know about something called the print production tool in Adobe Acrobat. We got a video for you here, this one here, about PDFs, and learn all the cool stuff that can do.